Well, good evening, and welcome to our Quilts of Valor Awards ceremony tonight. We'd like to thank and welcome home each and every veteran who has served and sacrificed in many different ways for our country's freedom. Thank you, every veteran who's here. I'd like to introduce some of the quilters behind me or to the side of me. First of all, we have Barb Garrell, Pam Krieg, Barb Gietzen, Marianne Strouch, Deb Larson, and Denise Schellenberg. I'd like to tell you a little history about the Quilts of Valor. Some of you have heard about it before, some of you have never heard of it. We are a mission to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing Quilts of Valor. Quilts of Valor is a national organization. It was founded in 2003 by a Blue Star mom. Her name was Catherine Roberts, and she had a vivid dream. Catherine's son was a gunner deployed to Iraq, and she was always 10 seconds from panic mode, 24/7. In her dream, she saw a young man sitting on the edge of the bed in the middle of the night, hunched over. The permeating feeling was one of utter despair. She could see his war demons clustered around, dragging him down into an emotional gutter. After a short while, as if viewing a movie, she saw him in the next scene, wrapped in a quilt, and his whole demeanor changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The message of her dream was quilts equal healing. Since then, over 427,000 quilts have been awarded all over the world, with the first one awarded at Walter Reed to a soldier from Minnesota who lost his leg in Iraq. A Quilts of Valor quilt is formed by many hands, joined by many pieces of fabric, fashioned by one, two, or many men and women through combined efforts of different skills. To use the term of Quilts of Valor, the quilt must have a label with required information. It must be a specific size. It must be awarded, not given as a gift, and it must be recorded. We award these quilts with a quilt hug. These quilts bring you a three-part message from our hearts. We honor you for your service, raising your right hand and taking the oath and leaving all that you held dear. Next, these quilts are meant to say thank you for that service, that sacrifice, and valor in serving our nation. Next, these quilts are meant to offer comfort, warmth, peace, and healing to the individual who receives it, and for you to know that you are forever in our thoughts and hearts. We are humbled to be awarding these Quilts of Valor tonight. As I say the veteran's name, if you would please come forward and stand down below here, and the girls will bring the quilt down to you and wrap you and give you the hug. Our first veteran is Alan Stoltz. Alan served in the U.S. Marines from 1952 to 1954 during the Korean conflict. His duties were communications for telephone equipment. He received award for the expert sharpshooter. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Alan.
Is it on? Yes, on. I got kind of a strange story to tell you. I was sitting in my living room here about a month ago, just minding my own business, trying to be good. And that's a job, oh man. And anyhow, I got this phone call. And I answered the phone, and this voice said, "Is this Alan Stones?" And I said, "Yeah, this is me." And she said, well, she gave me her name, I think, Janelle, or something like that. Anyhow, and she says, "We want you to come to Frazee on November 19th. I what's going on? Of course, I can't hear everybody either. And anyhow, we went on and on and on, and finally I agreed. I said, well, I suppose I can. And she said, okay, thank you. And then she was going, I said, wait a minute. I says, are you married? And she says, yeah, I'm married. And then so I thanked her. And then all that the rest of that day, I was trying to figure out why this married woman was calling me to come for a date in Vegas. I don't know that day yet or the next day I would tell my daughter about it, and she was telling me what it was all about. So wow, what a letdown.
Thank you, Alan. That was pretty cute.
Good job, Alan.
Our next veteran is Curtis Listo. Kurt served in the U.S. Army from 1953 to 1956. He was deployed in Germany during the Korean War. His duties were patrolling the borders. He was ranked Specialist 4th Class. He received a Bronze Star of Valor. Thank you for your service, Curtis, and welcome home. Curtis, do you have anything you want to say? Robert Waldy Jr.
Number 2.
Bob served in the U.S. Air Force from 1958 to 1962. He was deployed to Guam. His duties were mechanic for the F-86D fighters used in Korea. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Bob. John Healy. John served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. He served from 1959 to 1977. He served on the USS Mazama and Independent Newport and was deployed to Turkey, Greece, and the Mediterranean area. He was a senior chief petty officer. His duties were stenographer for admirals, received meritorious awards ×2. Thank you for your service, John, and welcome home. Joseph Jaroszewski. I don't know, I probably wrecked that name. Joe served in the U.S. Army and Army Reserve from 1959 to 1965. Joe was deployed to Germany. He was in the Signal Corps, working the country's communication system. Thank you for your service, Joe, and welcome home.
At least you're not a scammer.
Yeah, he thought I was a scammer when I called him.
What's going on today?
David Newstead. Dave served in the U.S. Navy from 1966 to 1970 during the Vietnam era. He served on the USS Pueblo. His duty was taking care of auxiliary equipment on the ship. Thank you for your service and welcome home, David. Robert Early. Bob served in the U.S. Army from 1970 to 1994 during the Vietnam era through Desert Shield. He was deployed 11 years to Germany for 2 tours as first sergeant. His duty was vehicle maintenance. His rank ended Master Sergeant. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Bob. Thomas Wetzel. Tom served in the U.S. Air Force from 1979 to 2003. He served as a missile maintenance technician and then trained to become precision measurement equipment laboratory tech. He served in Germany, Guam, and Saudi Arabia. He was discharged as a senior master sergeant. He received a Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, and Achievement Medal with Valor. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Tom. Scott Hall. Scott served in the U.S. Air Force from 1979 to 1999. He was stationed in Japan and Lajes, Azores. He worked with deployed troops receiving military and travel pay. He also briefed troops serving during Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Thank you for your service and welcome home. Mary Lou Wetzel. Lou served in the U.S. Air Force from 1983 to 2007. She served in South Korea and Guam. Her duties were electronic calibration tech, manpower, and organization chief in the 388th Fighter Wing. She received 3 meritorious medals, Air Force Commendation, and Achievement Awards. She was discharged as the Chief Master Sergeant. Thank you for your service, Lou, and welcome home. Robert Wayman. Robert served served in the U.S. Navy from 1993 to 2018. He served in Operation Enduring Freedom in the Gulf, Italy, and Greece. His duty was hospital foreman. He received Navy Commendation Awards. His rank was Senior Chief Petty Officer. Thank you for your service, Robert, and welcome home. Nathan Prelwitz. Nathan served in the U.S. Navy from 2000 to 2004. He served in Operation North and South Watch during Operation Enduring Freedom. He was also deployed to Japan. His duties were AD engine mechanic. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Nathan. Justin Nordquist. Justin served in the U.S. Army during Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2002 to 2010. He served in the 134th Brigade Combat. His duties were base defense and vehicle mechanic and maintainer. Thank you for your service, Justin, and welcome home. Now that all our veterans have received their quilts, on the back side of their quilt in a corner is a little label, and the label reads this: "May this quilt keep you safe from harm. May it be your good luck charm. I may not know your name, nor the mountains you face, but what you hold in your arms is a quilter's embrace." If anyone knows of any veterans touched by war, deployed overseas, that need to be awarded a quilt, please either go on qovf.org and submit them, or see me or one of these gals, and we will get you rolling on it, okay? So we want to get all our veterans wrapped in a quilt. That's our goal. So thank you all so much for everything.